I got placed with this gentleman who had multiple sclerosis, and he was quite debilitated. He was, at that time, probably in his early 50s, I think, and he was confined to a wheelchair. He actually needed help to get from the bed to the wheelchair because he couldn't do that. He was an exceptional person, you know, and I didn't appreciate that at first because he was so positive, you know, and happy. And I never been around with somebody who had such a debilitating illness, who was still as intact at such a young age. I obviously had been with people who were debilitated at a much older age, but I never saw someone as young as him debilitated, and he had been debilitated for a long time. It just wasn't like it just started, you know. And it just didn't seem natural to me that he would be happy, you know. And so I kind of thought he was just putting us on a little bit, you know. But the more I got to know him, the more I realized how genuine that was. They found out he had colon cancer, and it was pretty clear that they weren't going to be able to do anything. And the family was also very clear, and and himself as well, that he didn't want to stay in the hospital. You know, he knew that he was dying. His family knew he was dying, and he knew where he wanted to be when he was dying, and that was at home. He continued to surprise me because the cancer made him weaker, and he ended up spending all his time in bed. Yet he didn't lose any of that happiness. You know, you just really felt comfortable around him, and you didn't feel sad for him. Probably about a couple hours before he died, he, you know, opened his eyes and he looked at his wife, you know, and just kind of shook his head, you know, and she was looking at him so intensely, and it was just a few minutes of this just like intensity that you can't describe what it was, but I just felt so much life in him, you know. And I'm like, you're about to die, you know. So much, it seemed to me like so much life had already left, and yet you seem so alive, you know. And I needed to, I think in a way, without really have been able to articulate it back then, knew that I wanted to sort of figure that out. I wanted to understand that, and I wanted to be able to help people have that in their life.